Welcome back to Fall Degen, the channel where we flex $1,000 cardboard, ignore accountants, and call it investing to sleep at night. If it's shiny, if it's dramatic, and possibly a terrible financial decision, then you are in the right place. We are going to open some gold packs together and we're going to continue searching for the one of one. But this time, I want to be able to do my own version of a story time, inspired by Majin Bay. Congratulations for winning Nats, by the way. I want to be able to do a story time for what happened at the world premiere in Taipei. So I saw someone open a $50 card and this person screamed like this person just hit the Powerball. And some guy that sat across the table kind of like rolled his eyes and he said, that's just a $50 card. And I haven't stopped thinking about that moment. And today I want to be able to share with you that story and why I think it's a very powerful reminder as we open all these different packs together. Now, I don't know if I'm going to open all 100 packs here today, but we'll see. Okay, we'll do one at a time. But I want to be able to tell a story here today because I felt that when this guy, and I just realized as I'm telling this story that I'm actually terrible at telling stories. Because I get distracted, I've got this ADD thing. But here we go. Let's pause 1 second and we'll begin with pack number 1. Ooh, swing the script. Nothing much to shout about. But, so here's what happened. World Premiere Taipei. Let me start from the top again. Somebody opens a Swabi, I think like 2 tables away. And he shouted like, let's go, you know. And the guy opposite me, he kind of rolled his eyes. And he kind of mumbled, you know, like, that's a $50 card. So because in that 1 second, one person found joy. And the other person forgot why we even do this. And the truth is, pause 1 second. Ooh, Wondrous Rebel. I think this is a rare. I've learned my lesson now. I'm going to put this over here. Okay. That guy yelling over a $50 hit, to me, that's the one that gets it. You know, he's the one that gets it because it wasn't just a pull. It was a memory in a form of foil. Okay. Pack 3. Ooh, very nice. Very playable in my Gravy Bones deck. I definitely am looking to pimp out that deck. So, you know, we're deep into the high seas packs. This is like people, you know, opening at the world premiere, opening it for the first time, preparing for seal. You know, tables were buzzing, everybody's comparing pulls. And then it happens, right? This guy cracks his pack, he screams, you know, let's go. And then everybody's leaning over. And what did he hit? Something serialized, a grail, a one of one? Nope, just that Marvel Swabi. And another one yellow, probably not playable. So why am I telling you this story? I'm telling you this story because even though it's a solid mid-tier $50 pull, it's nothing groundbreaking, it's not headline material, but to him, it was everything. Huh. A $2 card, but probably now a $20 card, maybe, 5, 10, given how we've already established how hard cold falls are, you know. So, what am I saying? In case you don't know, I do have this minor ADD thing my entire life. So you might notice that I'm trying to focus opening packs, and I just realized how hard it is telling stories while opening packs at the same time and doing this pattern interrupter myself. You know. Anyway, ooh, Tippy. Probably, you know, I really underestimated this card, but I think now as Gravy becomes meta, everybody sees how powerful this card is, and that's why people are playing all 3 colors. The rainbow Tippy decks are coming out. Looking to add this into my Gravy Bones deck. So anyway, I was saying, so even though it's not groundbreaking, you know, but to him was everything. And across from him, there's another guy that scoffs, you know, that was just opposite me. He's like, well, there's a $50 card. There's no smile, no congratulations, just dead inside energy. But here's what the second guy missed. To me, it's not just about the value. It was about the feeling. The guy who shouted, he still has that spark. It's like that childhood awe. The feeling you got when you were 10 years old, cracking a booster, and you saw this shiny cardboard magic staring back at you. We're doing well with this Swift Water. I'll stop every 10 packs or so that we can do we'll do a check, But anyway, so that moment, it wasn't about finance, right? It was about emotion. And if a $50 hit can still do that to you, then you still haven't lost the joy. You're still winning. You're winning at life. Remember being a kid, whether you're standing at 7-Eleven or Walmart at the checkout line, you didn't know what a PSA 10 was. You weren't thinking about EV or liquidity. All you cared about was whether you got something shiny. Oh! Our first one ever, guys. I think we are at pack maybe 120. First ever Dead Threads. 1 in 120 packs so far. Okay. Hopefully that odds will change. Okay. And I'm doing this for science. Okay. That's how I justify all my purchases. But we have our first Dead Threads. I'm going to put that over here. The irony of it, anyway. So, what was I saying? So you care about something shiny, and when you did, that dopamine, it lasted for days, right? And that's what most of us are chasing. Even right now, what am I doing? I'm chasing dopamine, But sometimes it's not about the card itself. It is about the feeling the card gave us, like what I just, And somehow, somewhere along the line, many of us traded that feeling, myself included, I'm guilty for that, for spreadsheets. This hobby has a joy crisis. We overanalyze every pack. Right now the debate is whether we should have these gold packs. Some say it sucks, some say it's the best thing ever. But and we check TCG player before we even read the cards' names, right? We've gone from, oh man, this card is awesome, to like, oh, this is $14, weak, right? Ooh, Sunken Treasure. I think this is I'm bad at rarity, but I feel like this is definitely not a common, I think. I'm 50% sure, so which means I'm not sure. So anyway, so it's no longer about the art or the lore or the vibe, right? When was the last time we really, and sometimes I have to remind myself, it's about, to some people, it's about how fast we can flip it, grade it, complain it's not a serialized card, or it's not a serialized one-on-one. And then when we mock people for being happy about a $50 hit, that's not wisdom, that's not a flex, that's burnout, HMS, very nice. So, that being said, I'm no saint, and I know it's ironic that we're actually talking about this topic, and here we are cracking gold treasure packs, As you guys know, look at that. So here's the thing, I was impatient. I'm guilty of trying to foil out my Gravy Bones deck way in advance. So I actually already completed foiling out my Conquerors. So this would be my fifth one, I would say, now. But I've opened, this would be the second one I've personally opened. Okay, the first one with you guys in Taipei. And then I totally underestimated the drop rate, and we haven't seen one in the next 100 packs. So we're doing well. Let's keep going. So, I've spent more on some cards than I have on some international flights. I'm guilty of that. I've traveled across different time zones, finding for grails, searching for them. I've chased slabs and forgotten why I wanted them to begin with. But moments like this remind me of this one truth, that the best ROI of it all is joy. Guys, have you seen the last 3 hits? Polycranker! Oh man. So last Polycranker I opened last video, by the way, that was not mine, it was Kai's. We were playing that pack war, okay, if you guys saw. So this would be my first Polycranker. And we just got in our last, was this last 3 packs, last 4 packs? This was our last 3 or 4 packs, okay? I don't want to jinx it. I'm not going to say I don't think it's going to get any better. It is going to get better. Stay tuned, we'll find out, okay? But we're going to put this Grails here, okay? And then we'll do a check real soon, okay? So, and I was actually looking at the timer to make sure that the video was recording. Imagine this entire time I was talking to myself. Anyway, so if you pull something that makes you happy, that's value. And if it makes you yell across an entire room like a madman, that is value. Okay, the streak has to end somewhere. Okay, when it hasn't ended, we're taking a slight pause. Okay, so not everything has got to be this $1,000 card to matter. You know, I think the loudest reaction shouldn't be reserved for the Grails only. So, that being said, to the guy who screamed over that $50 card, you know, I see you. And I think you are a great reminder to why we fell in love with this hobby to begin with in the first place. Battalion Bark, pack 1, pick 1. You know, in draft. So, and the guy that rolled his eyes, I hope that one day you'll hit something that makes you feel again, you know, not just think. Because cardboard cracks, you know, value rises and falls. But joy is the most timeless collectible of it all. Shifting Tides, I think that's a comment. Okay. Okay, let's do a quick check. I know this is probably a horrible view, but first 20 packs. I'm bad at holding the camera as well. We have these 3 hits, and we still have quite a bit of packs. Okay, so we're gonna keep going. Okay, so anyway, you know, at the end of the day, we're not gonna remember every card that we pulled. But we're going to remember the ones that made us feel like kids again. Mutiny. Definitely a great pick for Gravy Bones in draft and sealed. I would say the best one for Gravy in sealed out of all the 3 mutinies. But I'm not the person to go to for gameplay, for sure. Pilfer the Wreck. So I think that these, the yellow ones that's not playable, these are probably going to be like pennies. Great collectible, but it's nice to put in a folder, but that's about it. So far, 10% drop rate on the L's out of 10 packs. Yep. So I would say we're doing pretty good in comparison to our first 100 packs. Lost in Transit. Probably not a playable card, I'm guessing. Maybe Scurvy in Blitz. Gold Hunter Longboat. So, let's continue. Now, I want you to think about, and let me know in the comments, what was a card that you opened that was one of your most memorable pulls? I want to be able to do a giveaway, and I want you to be able to tell me your story of your most memorable pull. What was that pull that, and sometimes it's not about a card. Sometimes it's about opening that card with somebody special. Yeah. Interesting. Some say that this is a pack 1, pick 1 if you know you're going Marlin. I don't know about that. That's debatable. But what do you think? What's your most memorable pull ever? Was it as a kid? Was it because it was a big hit? Was it because it was somebody special? Was it because it was your parents? What was it for you? Mutiny. I think we're gonna stop at like 50 packs. It's 100 here. We'll go through half. Okay, we'll see. We got our second captain's coat. You know, behind me, there's a set of slabs over here. And one of the slabs that I got slabbed, oops, was actually my first Armory win card, right? And that's what I'm talking about. You know, it's like cards that special doesn't necessarily need to be expensive. Expedition. Quick check. Look at that. I'm still amazed at the Dread Threads. Okay, so I think this batch is significantly better than all of our pulls so far. Okay, but on this channel, because this is the ultimate most degenerate channel on YouTube, we are gonna keep going until we open up one-on-one. Okay, and we're not stopping until that happens. Okay, and who knows? Perhaps, hopefully, our second batch of shipments for high seas. Oh, wait a second. I believe the second shipment, second print will not have one-on-ones anymore. So, we'll see. Unicycle. So far we have 5 gold foils. 5 gold foils. And we haven't really had a hit in the last 10 packs. Okay, let's keep going. I'm actually sitting on a yoga ball. Okay. Expedition. So I'll share with you a couple of cards that was memorable to me. The first one that got me started playing this game to begin with, I think like most people here, was Magic the Gathering. And that was back in 1996, 4th edition. So yes, I'm actually a lot older than I look. I get that a lot. I still get my IDs checked. But at that time, the chase card wasn't dual lands. It wasn't the expensive cards. Back then it was Shivan Dragon. And Shivan Dragon was like the rare. And I never got a Shivan Dragon. However, what I got instead was a Savannah Lion. Now, you might not know what that is. It's basically a 1 mana creature for 2/1. But man, to me, that card, it was magical. And I was like 11 at that time, you know. So, yeah. That was a special moment. And it's the feeling. I think that's at the end of the day, you know, the feeling that makes us feel like kids again. And somebody asked me, like, you know, why am I still playing this game? Why am I playing trade? So just for the record, I actually have not played card games for over 20 years. After I stopped Magic, I didn't play any card game for a good 20 years. Until I stumbled upon this rare encounter. I was walking past the shop and I was actually thinking to myself, I wonder what's happening in the world of Magic the Gathering right now. And I'm so grateful that the store owner at that time, when I was walking past the shop in Victor's Forge, shout out to Ricky, who said, bro, nobody plays this game anymore. Try this other game instead. And he passed me this box of Dynasty, and the rest is history, you know. Throw caution to the wind. I believe that some decks for Gravy is playing this version as well. So it looks like another great reason for me to want to play Gravy is just, I think I'm just looking for a reason to really bling out a deck. Look at that. This is, I think would be, so the third Conqueror pulled on camera. And looks like now I need to get rid of or trade, maybe do a giveaway for some of these. Okay, but we have officially completed our set, as well as so one of the things that I do that I've actually never shown is I actually collect a full master set of every single set. You don't see it here, but it's like over there, all those folders, those are all of my master sets in Flesh and Blood. I'll show you guys how, like, I'm ultra OCD, so I like to label stuff. I like to put things that it's got to be uniform. I'll show how it's all done in one day. But that goes, so the extras, I always collect one master set. New Horizon, Expedition, Horizons Mantle. Okay. Looks like, I think we got excited and there's still quite a bunch left. You know what? We're nearly there. Why not? Let's just finish the, I don't know, I think there's 100 packs. Okay. We have another 150 coming in a couple of days. So let's just finish these packs. Okay. Remember, our next giveaway is on your comment below on what is your most memorable pull in your life. Not just about card value, it could be why it was memorable. Best comment wins a gold pack that's going to be opened in our next video. Okay, this one would be reserved for you. And yes, if it's a one-on-one, it is going to be given out to you. Okay, and I will be happy to do so. Okay, next one. Saltwater Swell, I believe. Yeah, this is also played in my version of Gravy, which is basically Yuki Lee Bender's version. I'm nowhere near smart enough to craft or brew my own deck, so I believe that version has got the red and the blue one. Blue one I'm not sure, but red for sure. Okay, Pilfer. Gonna double time. Saltwater Swell. Okay. Next. Chart a Chorus. Nope. Definitely not playable. I'm trying to see if I can angle this thing. I've just got like a... Nope. Okay, we'll just put it here. Back to the original angle. Okay, wait. Okay, we have maybe 30 packs left. Here we go. Nope. You're gonna double time. Maybe I will use this next. We'll do 5 at a time. Okay, to kind of mix things up and hopefully I don't cut it. Okay. I'm bad at this. I've seen them, what's the word for it? The terminology of the people that buy and like do case opens. They do it 5 packs at a time with their one piece. And they're like a pack of, okay, here we go. Okay. This should be quick. Rusted Belt, nope. Bill for direct, nope. Guys, our first. Okay, wait. So I believe somebody told me that there's going to be 3 amulets, the ones that's playable, that will be worth something. This is still, I mean, I think all amulets are worth something, but I think this is the one that destroys all heroes and allies, so I don't think it's going to be, you know, anywhere near the diamond amulets. But guys, this is still our first one of 100 treasure amulets. The first one on stream. I did not expect that. Wow. This batch is a very different batch. Onyx Amulet. Destroy this. Tap all heroes and allies. Probably not playable, I'm guessing. I don't know. You guys who are good at the game, tell me. Great one to add to the collection. Okay, so Mutiny. And Anything else? Okay, so we'll do a review real quick. It's really chaotic here, but we've got the amulet, we've got two conquerors, we've got a dead shreds, we've got polycranka, and a mess. Okay. All right. Let's do our next 5. Okay. So I would say that our hit rate so far, in terms of amulets, would be 1 in maybe 200 packs now. 3 conquerors in 200 packs, 1 poly and 1 dead trades. This is pretty fast. Okay. Maybe this is what gives us luck. Golden Harpoon, our second one. I believe this is quite rare. I've heard people say it's rare. We'll put this over here. Okay, we'll put this over here. Okay. Gold. Divvy Up. Golden Cog. Pilfer. Charter Course. Gold. HMS. Doing this video has made me realize how hard it is to actually tell stories and open packs at the same time. Like, wow. And I don't know how some do it for like 45 minutes talking about a random topic. Rudy. Amazing. That's a life skill set right there. Okay. So I don't want to... Okay, so I think we're going to do that for our remaining 10 packs. We do have 10 packs, and we are going to do our final 10 packs, cutting 5 at a time. Okay, here we go. And then the remaining one being the giveaway pack. Okay. Oops, I didn't do it right this time. Aha. Okay. Round. Seawater Swell, not bad. Playable. Expedition. Yellow Ship. Swell, playable. Gravy, playable. Swelgen, gravy, playable. All right. Cool. And then finally, I don't want to be cutting the 1 of 1 on video. Okay, last one for the road. We're going to save the best for last, okay? You guys ready? And if you still haven't done so, let me know the best pull you've ever made if you want to be part of the next giveaway. The best pull that was most memorable for you in your entire life. I want to hear that story. Charter Course. Saltwater Swell. Yellow random card. Ooh, Harpoon again. I'm starting to wonder now, is this really as rare as what people say? Because this will be our 3rd one. And we only have 1 L. Okay, we're going to save the best for last. Come on. The best one for last. Okay, we're going to do a quick review. Man, it's chaos here. Okay, but if you guys can see this, we have 2 Conquerors, Dead Shreds, Polycranka, Harpoons. We had 2 of them. Okay, and I'm not sure how many M's we have here. You guys let me know in the comments, but I don't recognize any M's. There wasn't any Loan Shark. There wasn't any of the noticeable M's. I'm not sure which ones are. Oh wait, Murderous Rebel. No, it's a rare. So I don't think we got any M's out of 100 packs. You guys let me know if that's the case, but I don't think so. So that's another 100 packs, give or take. I think this is above rate. I can't complain with the Poly Cranker and Dead Shreds. And so that being said, always remember the pulls that made us feel like kids again. Thanks for watching. And for more shiny cardboard wisdom and dangerously questionable financial advice, be sure to subscribe. Fall Degen out.